Hi, everyone.
I am Tracey.
I'm Carol.
And we are my Outlander Purgatory. I hope everyone is having a great week. Or since you're probably watching this on a Sunday, it's the start of the next week. So, I don't know. How are you, Carol?
I was almost going to say I'm tired, but we say that so much anymore that I really just don't think I should.
Well, we really are, because right before we started, both Carol and I were talking about how we have the twitchy eye, which is totally like... But on the bright side, if it happens during this broadcast, perhaps we can hold it really close to the camera and like channel our inner Claires and diagnose it.
Can't you just hear the comment this week?
What?
Enough about your twitchy eye. Don't care.
Let's move on. It's more important that matters. Carol, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm having a little more Santa Margarita because I had it from earlier in the week. And waste not, want not.
Oh, you don't be wasting any Santa Margarita Pinot.
You don't waste Santa.
Nuh-uh.
And I just wanted to make mention of this beautiful glass that I am drinking it in. Thank you, Belinda. And I also should probably hold this up. I did blog about this a while ago, but Westmore Pottery.
Gee, Carol, have I seen a glass like that before somewhere?
Seagrove, North Carolina. Awesome. I don't know if she has these exact ones, but she always has different things. So you have to go in, especially if you're in North Carolina.
Like Mary Hawkins, it strikes me as vaguely familiar. Where have I seen it before?
I believe that was when Claire met Jenny and was shitting her pants because Jenny was such a biatch at the dinner table. And Claire,
That's right!
And Claire was like, "I'll just open the donut." Name that movie.
We should do that every week. Have a weekly name that movie. Go ahead, name that movie. I'm not even going to put a clip of it in there, but okay.
Okay, fine. Tracey, what are you drinking?
I too am drinking a lovely white in my normal Costco 8 for $20 glasses. But it's French, you guys. It's
French.
Petit Chapeau.
French wine.
I don't know. It's from Mahon Village. I don't speak French, and I do a bad accent.
Tracy,
and I don't know what chapeau means, but I think maybe it means hat.
You're going to have to pick Jeff Santa Monica up off the floor because she's laughing so hard at your mispronunciations. And while we're on the subject of fine glassware, this is my water.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about, all right. We do have to say that a couple of interesting things happened this week, but they're Outlander related, so it's all good. Is that like a special guest star that maybe will come on later?
That's a teenager telling me she finished her science homework.
Oh, okay. So one thing that was so much fun is that we were on Hang Outlander this past week. As we told you last week we were going to do.
Yes.
It was totally fun. Those girls are awesome. And we just like laughed the whole time.
They were hilarious. I really didn't say much because I was afraid to mess up the audio. That and Cindy Brady, Baton Rouge, Cindy, I was like...
I'm sure we'll do it again another time, and we'll be better at it. But yeah, like we were both really, because we don't do.
We won't be better at it.
We don't do a live. We don't do this live. So when you do it live and people talk over each other, it distorts the audio. And clearly, we through Skype have no problem talking over one another. So anyway. What I was going to say was, it was totally fun, and what reminded me of that was that my life has been so busy this week that the glass I was drinking out of on Monday is still sitting at my desk, because I have not actually, hauled my butt downstairs to bring it down to the sink. So there you go. And then the other exciting Outlander Purgatory news, and it's not really that exciting, but it kind of is today we got our 10,000 Twitter follower.
Let's get to it.
We have seen episode 3, Useful Occupations and Deceptions. I wrote down all of the stuff today. I took pretty good notes. I wrote down the writer was Ann Kenny, and the director is Mateen Hussein. He's directed all 3 so far.
We apologize.
I know. I'm sorry. Whatever. Here, I have to move this over here so I can read here. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you just say he's directed all 3 so far?
I hope it's not a she. You know what? I think I'm gonna. You talk for a second. I'm gonna look.
We apologize if you're a she, and we apologize for botching your name. And I know I wouldn't do any better because I have not even seen it yet. But very, very interesting that the same person has directed these first 3 episodes.
See, I wonder if it is somebody, because a lot of the France stuff was filmed in. Okay, now I'm totally blanking. Prague, thank you. So I was kind of wondering if maybe it was like that this person directed, I'm not going to even try the name again, directed all of the, there's 7 episodes of this season. And 2 of last season, directed The Watch and The Search last season. So it looks.
What was Search?
The Search was
looking for
the
Jamie.
Search was what did the That's Normal Girls call it? Like it was so funny. Like Scotland Idol or something like that, or Scotland's Got Talent. I forget what.
Oh boy.
It was and I'm like the only person in America that liked that episode. So there you go.
That says something.
But yeah, no, will have directed 5 episodes. So it's almost like, I wonder if they directed all of the France episodes. I think that might be a possibility.
Let me tell you something. Now, we won't be seeing Tom tonight, but he's over France already.
So is Tracey.
Oh, over France.
Nothing good. Apologies in advance to any French residents of France, citizens of France that watch this. Read Dragonfly and you'll know when I say nothing good ever happens in France.
If you're French and you live in France, you're going to be sick of it after all.
You're absolutely right. You're going to be like, oh my God, can I go through the stones, please? Yeah, I've had about my fill of France. Ain't gonna lie.
Well, I feel like it's moving so fast. Like, I'm like, when did this happen? Well, let's get to it.
If we're out of France in 5 episodes, I mean, that's a good thing.
Episode 3, I felt like, didn't this happen much later in the book? So I'm glad. Let's just talk about it and get going.
Okay. So, one thing I realized with the starting, because I've been so rushed with watching these episodes, and not like I was that less rushed with this one. I watched about 1.5 times maybe. I just realized, there's a shot of a hand going like this in the starting, and I was like, is it Claire like massaging, taking care of Jamie's main hand?
Oh,
I totally realized, like, I bet that's it.
Am I the only one who's kind of freaked out by his? Who is that hand thing reminding me of that he's wearing? It's like a wooden. Hand
protector. Why
do I keep thinking Hannibal? Like what wooden?
Maybe it's like Hannibal has that face thing.
The wolf. It reminds me of Moonstruck. Nicolas Cage in Moonstruck.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can see that.
I lost my hand.
No, that's a good.
Just
call.
Came to me.
That's a good call.
Thank you.
That's a good call. All right.
Let's let her get in my bed.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Awesome.
So anyway, we get our Easter egg, which is the chessboard with the king down. That's not subtle or anything, is it? King down. We're knocking the king down.
I don't know why, but I got my Philly accent going today. So I'm going to be all Philly up in your business.
So Claire wakes up and she's like, what? And then we hear Jamie come home. I really like that whole scene from like when Jamie runs up the stairs. Like, it's like, none of you will get this except Carol. So I apologize in advance, but it totally reminded me. Carol and I used to work when we were in high school and college. We used to work at a local store that sold like party goods, paper goods, stuff like that. And the owner of the store
Who I'm friends with on Facebook.
Yeah. Who the owner of the store, like this nice family that we were friendly with owned the store. But he, like, if he needed to show you something, or you need to ask him something, or you needed to discuss something with him, he'd be like, Tracey, walk with me. And he'd be like walking around the store, like doing whatever, and talking and doing this and doing that at the same time, and you'd just be like, and walking.
And then he'd leave.
Walking. That's what that scene reminded me of. Jamie's up the stairs, talking, throwing clothes off, having people take things from him, putting new clothes on, talking to Claire, doing this, guzzling something down, going around, bye-bye, bye.
Okay.
So funny.
My first thought, I'm going to go a little backwards. My second thought was, I was so distracted by the fact that I could never do it. I could never do it. I can't even fly a red eye because I'm, like, done. Like, he hadn't slept, and he just kept right on going. And I was like, wow. Okay, that's thought number 2. Thought number 1 was, come on, knock on our door.
What?
Because that thing Claire put on was so Mrs. Roper. Cue the moo-moo.
And also, like Mrs. Roper, or like Claire, Mrs. Roper hasn't had sex in about 15 years at this point. Oh my God, they're so alike.
Oh my God. And Mr. Roper, can we just compare Mr. Roper to Jamie?
I'll show you.
I dare you to stay home and say that.
Remember the look? She used to be all...
Oh my God. Stanley! Oh my God.
He would be like... Pretty much.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
I shouldn't laugh with my mouth open so much because I lost a crown. I have to go in and have it fixed.
Ew. Well, I'm sure that we're not really going to see that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just laughed pretty darn hard.
I've never had anything other than teeth cleaning and braces done to my teeth ever, so I don't know what that means.
She brags about this every time.
Oh my God, totally.
My $1 million mouth.
Mm-hmm. Totally. But I thought that scene was really great, really well played. I will say this. So, at one point, Claire, I will just preface this with, like, at least with the part of the episode that I am up to for twice, which is a half hour. The whole episode plus about a half hour. Claire is getting on my last nerve. I am on Team Tom at this point. Like, Claire is getting on my last nerve.
Oh, you better watch out, because we also had a comment from somebody who said Tom sounded like a sad throwback to decades gone by. Which I told him, and he had a good laugh about.
So, now, Claire with the servants, like, Jesus Christ, Claire. Like,
so rude. She's
so rude. She is so rude, dog. She's like Miranda Priestley.
Concerns of your incompetence do not interest me.
She's totally like Miranda Priestley.
Don't you feel like, look, I'm going to apologize right now for anybody who hasn't read the books or doesn't feel like listening to me compare. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'll try really hard to keep it short. But don't you feel like even Claire would have been like Jamie if he treated the servants like that? I mean,
yes,
what the heck?
Yes.
It's not her.
No,
These people were not put on this earth to serve you during your little stint in France.
Right. And the first thing that she did was when the valet...
She was like,
when Mr. Mosley was, like, dressing her. when Bates was like, oh, wait, let me tie your tie or whatever. She's like this.
Bates.
Get out of the way, Bates.
Mr. Bates.
Mr. Bates.
No.
And, I should say, like, Monsieur Bates, I mean. Bates. She, like, shoves him out of the way and starts, like, doing his tie or whatever.
Yeah.
But the comment I have to make is, I feel like they threw in a shot because, we talked about this. We didn't really talk about this on this show, but we did with the That's Normal Girls on how, like, is Claire pregnant anymore? Because, like, no, God knows no one's talking about it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like Ron Moore watched that show and was like, stop the presses. I need one more shot. And there's a shot of Katrina, of Claire, like a profile shot when she's like futzing with Jamie's
Yes.
thing. And
Is
she's
she
like
futzing or putzing?
It's a private joke.
Private joke.
Private joke. No, there's a profile shot of her, and she looks like she's about to drop and give birth right there. Go watch it. It's right at that point. I wrote it down because I was like, she says something about like, doesn't help my morning sickness. And then there's a side shot of her, and I wrote down, holy crap, she's huge. So I really feel like that shot was almost thrown in to remind people, like, yeah, she's still pregnant.
Yeah.
And then Jamie starts talking about, like, oh, you know, he throws in a line just to remind us again, too, and, like, you know, after Tommy or whatever. But, yeah, it was so funny. It was like, okay, yeah, thanks for, like, reminding us about that. That she's actually really
yeah, kind of weird.
There was a really, speaking of, like, freeze framing, it's a really nice shot of Jamie when he, like, goes in the doorway and Claire's behind him, and you see his back end. And I just wrote down, like, where did I put it? Like, backside shot. Hey,
I was going to say it was a nice back end shot.
But yeah, he was, that whole scene, I was just exhausted from watching him. It was like me. It was like a typical day of me. Like, get home, go, leave the house, go to work, get home, do this, do that, do that, do that, It's just like, oh, Jamie, you just need to, like, go to bed early. You know? Have a nightcap and call it a day. So Jamie's back out, and Claire's gonna go to tea. And meanwhile, Claire is just being bitchy and throwing, like, little digs left and right. When Jamie's like, have fun with your ladies at tea, she's like, they're not my lady. Shut the fuck up, Claire. Sorry, but just shut up, okay?
Go right ahead. She's heard worse.
Just shut up. What, Keelan's in the room?
I was just going to say, she hasn't heard worse, but she's heard that.
Allowed to say it now in front of her? Opens up a whole new world of possibilities, you guys.
Oh, heck yeah.
I still get uncomfortable saying that word in front of my nieces and nephews, even though they're like 20. No, so...
All right,
yeah,
we need to get out of this scene, though.
I know, but I just put shut up, Claire. Like, it's your idea to do all this, so shut up. Just shut up.
Tracey, you are saying all my stuff before we even get to it.
Okay.
You pretty much just broke down the whole episode like one scene.
Fuck Claire, shut up. That's the end.
Nobody's doing that.
I have some stuff to say that's not about that, but
did you hear what I just said?
Nobody's shutting her up or fucking her. That's true.
Oh Lord, not as a verb, not as a verb.
Sorry, guys. Just a little NSFW today. So we go to tea with the ladies.
What ladies?
It's Louise.
Louise is mean. She was mean to Mary. She needs to calm down.
Louise does need to. I kind of love both of them. I have to say.
Wee, Mary, you are so stupid.
I did like how, like, Mary starts in all serious, and you just hear this little, like, from Louise, and here she is with her cards. Sorry, it's my phone back. Here she is with her cards, like, and then Mary's like going on, and Louise is like, she's really trying hard, and then finally she busts out.
I was like, oh, please, Louise, we get it. You're a hoe. You know what you're doing. Get over yourself.
But I like her. I do. I mean, I thought I like her.
I like her, but I just wanted her. You know what it is? I love Mary Hawkins. So, you know what? How about instead of making fun of her, how about giving her some sage advice from a seasoned professional?
How about having a little talk?
What?
How about having a little talk with her? But I do have to ask one thing, and you don't watch Survivor, do you?
I mean, I have a zillion times, but I'm not watching the season.
Did you watch last season with the All-Stars?
No.
All right, if you watch Survivor and you're watching this, and just put in the comments, does Louise totally reminds me of Abby Maria from Survivor?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, well, I know you don't. That's why I'm asking them. Anybody that watches Survivor, yes or no? Sounds like her, and Abby Maria is Brazilian, so I don't even know why, but there you go.
Okay.
So, anyway, we get to the whole, don't make fun of me. They don't do that in France. We don't do that where they might do it in France, but we don't do it where I'm from. Where are you from? Sussex or wherever she's from.
And then it was like, It was like, oh God, how am I blanking on his name? Um, Superman, not Henry Cavill.
Christopher Reeve?
Christopher Reeve is
Oh,
in
Somewhere in Time.
and seeing the penny and that's the moment because she just was like Trask radio, and then all of a sudden she was like, and I felt for her at that point.
Too. I have to say I thought that part was really well handled.
Ooh.
And it made sense to me. Like, I think that's one thing with the book. Like, I think I've gone back on that. Like, what, you didn't put 2 and 2 together a long time ago? And I don't know that in the book it's that, like, stated, like, she all but says, like, duh. How did I not
feel
think
like
of
she
this?
knew it right away, but
Yeah, I feel like they never really acknowledged, like, you didn't think of this sooner? And they do here. They're pretty much like, how did I not think of this? Like, I was so wrapped up in everything, like, it didn't even cross my mind.
yeah.
Sorry, folks, but, you know, it's totally right, and shit, he has to stay alive for another year.
She's like, my day just got even worse.
Yeah.
I already got some bad news that Blackjack Randall's still alive, and now I got to worry about this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, of course she didn't remember. Would you remember everything Frank told you when he was going waxing on about history? And I love history, but man, they're on their honeymoon, and he's going on and on and on about his ancestors. With his brandy on the veranda.
So I did. I thought that part went pretty well. Poor Mary. Louise is funny. Whatever.
You know, and this is what bothers me. And I'm like, Claire, I get it. You have like the weight of the world on your shoulders. But take this poor girl under your wing already. She's the saddest little thing. She's only here because she's being forced to marry this disgusting, warty man.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know anything. And here you are, you have to help the world, and yet this poor little thing needs some help, and you don't care.
Well, somebody better learn to her quite quick, because she's about to marry Blackjack, according, if historical records are true.
Holy cow. Sister girl doesn't know anything. She's like a grandmother whose marriage was arranged.
She's going to need to go from, like, you know, like the 100 level courses to, like, graduate level, like, really quickly. Freakish 101. No, not gonna be good enough. So okay, so Claire finishes her tea, she leaves, she goes home, she's got all sorts of things on her dance card now, great, and there's this little piece of lace that, like, the servant, you know, that was mostly, I guess, found in the kitchen, and Claire goes from being in the last episode, like, you know, oh,
I don't want any help.
I don't want any help. All these servants should just get out of my way, because I don't want people to do things for me. To be like, this Kleenex was supposed to be mended.
I asked for this to be mended. Why did you not fix this?
Where is Suzette to mend my Kleenex?
Where are my dragons, and where is Suzette?
I was like, and the hate just rose.
I know. Lord, do I know.
So Claire, like, waving her lace around. She's like, Suzette!
She's waving her lace around.
She's like, Suzette, please open the door. And there's Suzette. Riding by.
Literally
on Murtaugh.
Well, at least someone's getting some.
and Suzette's like, oh, I did love how she's like, can I help you, miss? And Claire's like,
I know. Suzette didn't really seem to care.
No.
She was like, yes.
So, okay. So then we see poor Claire. Let's all shed a tear, you guys, because she's mending the Kleenex herself.
Oh my God, I almost just choked. I'm sorry.
I've always wanted to produce a spit take from you. I'm mascara running. God, this is really bad. So in walks Murtaugh in like basically, you know, his big shirt and his like his long johns, his puffy shirt and his long johns,
His big shirt and his
like, you know,
stretch pants.
his leggings.
And
he really needs to be wearing the big sweater.
you know, frankly, that was an outfit that you would pretty much see on any soccer mom at the mall.
I wear that outfit.
Like,
Yeah,
I was like, I love that outfit, Murtaugh. Hi.
And then he says, he basically comes in and he's like, so, yeah, gonna make something of it, Claire? You know, and I actually wrote this down because I was just like watching this, like, since when did you become such a priggish, I think it was scold, I don't really know, when it comes to frolicking between the sheets? Can we please discuss that whole little scene? And how it made my heart hurt.
Say that again?
He comes barreling in, and he says a bunch of, like, he's basically... What?
Excuse me for 1 second. Talk to the audience.
I don't know what's going on, you guys. Both at Carol's house and with Murtaugh. And I can't, she has to be here, but like, yeah, he said, I'll repeat it again. Since when did you become such a priggish scold when it comes to frolicking between the sheets? I'm sorry, you guys.
I apologize.
The words frolicking between the sheets would never, ever, ever, ever come out of the mouth of Murtaugh Fraser. Ever. Frolicking between the sheets. Really? And I'm not even going to talk about book Murtaugh. I'm talking just TV Murtaugh here. This really, I mean...
Hot Murtaugh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not complaining about that.
What is the shirt called? We've read 8 books. The shirt's always mentioned, and you're calling it his big shirt. What?
His puffy shirt. And
no, there's a name for his... My God, has it been that long since I've read all these books?
Like his hound shirt, or his waist shirt, or his brief shirt?
It's his... It's a word like plate or something. It's his...
All right, tell us some comments, guys.
Would it be a guy with shift? No. All right,
I need to talk about this because this is my big, like, I just need to drink to forget the pain moment. I don't mind Murtaugh getting freaky with Suzette. Don't mind it at all. Don't mind it at all. What I do mind, and I think it goes against everything that they've set up Murtaugh to be as a character through all of season 1 and through, say, the first episode of this season. Last episode, if you recall, I loved him, but it was because he was so true to his character. He was seeing all of this stuff that he found ridiculous and reacting in ways that were completely in character with who he is. Like, the looks, the, like, snide comments. You know, Murtaugh is like the grouchy old curmudgeon who has a heart of gold and will take a bullet for you. Murtaugh is not somebody that would come up to Claire after she's, like, caught him in bed with the help, come up to Claire and be like, what? You know, what? Like, you got something, you got a problem with this? Like, what? When did you become so, like, such a prude that you don't, like, you know, appreciate me getting it on? No effing way.
Okay, can I say something?
Mic drop, walk away.
She dropped the mic.
Drop the mic.
May I say something?
Yes.
Picks up mic. I'm like, you're going to be like, oh, yes. I didn't mind the scene. In fact, I was kind of happy about it because I always felt like Murtaugh was sort of underutilized. And as I told you before last week, I'm liking I'm liking new Murtaugh. I also think it's believable because just because we didn't hear about what Murtaugh was up to doesn't mean he wasn't up to it. But it directly clashes with the line, Murtaugh told me that women don't much care for it.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Murtaugh told Jamie that women don't much care for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that Murtaugh's just a wham bam guy and he's done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now all of a sudden Murtaugh is the great lover who takes a lover in the afternoon.
Afternoon delight.
You know?
Here's why. I figured it out. Are you ready? I figured it out on the second viewing of it. He is taking the place of Angus.
Well, yeah, I agree. I think that there's been some merging done. I liked how they mentioned Rupert and Angus. Was that this week or last?
That was last week. And Murtaugh mentioned them, and he called them like Lard Bucket and Fathead or whatever. I don't remember.
I liked that they sort of reminded us, but
that was completely in character. That's exactly something that Murtaugh would say. Murtaugh is just like kvetch, 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 grumpy, grumpy, grumpy.
Right.
But he's the same guy that will take Claire all around and look for Jamie, and he will die for Jamie. And I think he would die for Claire too because of who she is to Jamie. But no way, no how, in no century ever, book or TV, is Murtaugh ever going to come and flaunt that to Claire ever. You have to think about who Claire is to him. Claire's not like some, bar wench down the road. Claire is the wife of this man, of his laird, of
his son,
man that he has sworn
of
probably
his son,
some sort of blood vow
of his son, for all intents and purposes, of his son.
Yes. It was offensive to me. I'm going to go there and say, I was really, really disappointed, and I really tried to figure out why, and that's the only answer that I can get is that Murtaugh is being transitioned by whoever, writers, producers, whatever, to be somewhat of the comic relief. But rather than being comical as Murtaugh, which he was last week, now he's all of a sudden been given qualities of Rupert and Angus.
Okay, there's a lot more to get to that I'm going to be making those faces, so let's keep going.
But I mean, anyway, that said...
No, I don't fully agree, only because in a way, in ways, I like this Murtaugh a little bit better than book Murtaugh in the fact that he's less curmudgeon-y and he's more fun and he's got those funny little quips, but they're also with Claire just as much when Jamie's not even around.
I'm not talking about the quips at all. I am talking very specifically about this attitude to Claire that's disrespectful to Claire. That's really what it is.
Well,
I believe Claire walking in on that. And I believe Claire walking out like, oy vey. I don't believe that Murtaugh would get out of bed, get dressed, go downstairs, be all like, hey, then be like, okay, I gotta finish up, bye-bye, and go back up. I believe that, she might see him, or he might come downstairs when he's done. But and maybe, he'd look at her a little funny, and she'd look at him a little funny.
Okay, all right, but don't you think, how's he going to be done when he's now oh crap, Claire came in here, does she need something from me, number one? Maybe he can't concentrate until he goes and speaks to her. No,
obviously he knew that she just had to, that she had a Kleenex that needed pending.
And my other thing is, don't forget that Claire is from another time and is much less formal with him and with the guys. And he has, there's a lot of things we haven't seen, behind the scenes stuff. back in Scotland and stuff, that he's gotten to know her. I think it's a suspend disbelief situation where you have to assume that Claire and Murtaugh, my God, look at all that time they spent together looking for Jamie. I think that you have to assume that they've really gotten tight, really tight, and that he has gotten all of this 20th century stuff from her. She's not an 18th century woman who's all dainty and, oh, don't say that in front of me. She pulls up her sleeves and she gets to it and she curses. You know what I mean? So that didn't bother me like it bothers you. I just kept holding on to that whole, Murtaugh told me women don't much care for it. And I'm like, well, apparently he lied.
French woman, on the other hand.
Yeah. And you know what? You're joking, but that could be it. Murtaugh could be like, all right, you know what? I'm here. I can't stand them, whatever. But these women are so loose in France that, no offense, French women of the 21st century. But like maybe he's like, look, these women will do anything, so I'm going to have fun while I'm here. And then, you know what I mean? And
I
then
don't have a problem with that. It's really just that interaction, that whole like that. It just I felt it was disrespectful, and I felt it was not in character with him. I felt like it was that would come out of Angus's mouth three times a day and 6 times on Sunday. It would come out of Rupert's mouth.
right.
Murtaugh, no.
Well,
All right.
that, I think, is the general consensus with a lot of people regarding character changing. So let's keep going, and we'll get to more.
That said, after I liked, then they have the scene where she tells Murtaugh about blackjack, and I like how Murtaugh treated it. Like, you can't tell him. You're saving his life by not telling him. I'm totally in.
I loved that talk.
That talk was really great.
Loved it.
So if it was like some sort of device to get him down there to have the talk, okay,
Right.
whatever. I gotta whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. When he's like, I have to go back to business. I just wrote down back to business and birth control. Clearly, Murtaugh is being transitioned into the Rupert Angus comic relief character.
See, but I have to tell you that I also have written down love the Claire Murtaugh alliance. Like, I really love the whole.
Too.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. I think that's one reason why I liked the Scotland's Got Talent episode, as those guys call them, because it showed a bond between Murtaugh and Claire being built. And Murtaugh and Claire now have a special relationship that Claire has with nobody else in the show. None of the other characters, including Jamie. I think Murtaugh and Claire have shared experiences that nobody else have.
They're
but
like
I
family.
still think that, like, at the end, I think he crossed a line with her. I do. I really do. But tell us what you think in the comments. It was weird.
We're going to agree to disagree, and we're going to move on.
Okay. So then Jamie is Jamie's talking to I never remember this guy's name. Monsieur Dubonnet. No.
Oh,
Dubonnet
finance dude. That's what I call him. Finance dude.
Finance dude. They're playing chess and whatever. Jamie's good at chess.
Boring.
Blah, blah, blah.
So
All I
bored.
want to know is, why did they switch sides when they played the second game? Were they not going to play anymore? And then they.
I don't know, but Shannon made me play pickleball the other day,
and we had
tennis
where you have to switch sides every 3 games or something. I don't know.
Yes, we had to keep switching sides too.
I don't know. Then Claire's walking around. I would like to go into that market. It's very cute, that the market that she wanders around. But she goes and she sees.
I think we need to go to France for
research.
Yes. Would anyone like to pay for us to go to France for research? Because I'll tell you what, I will get on a plane right now. I will go and research even though they weren't even in France in the filming. I will come back. My notes will be spectacular for you.
Think of the video, you guys.
As Tracey always says, for you. My notes will be awesome. My photos. I just need someone to pay and send me
a GoFundMe page. Send us to France.
Do what?
A GoFundMe page. Send
And then there's like we say we're gonna do all these notes and everything, and meanwhile there's just like pictures of Tracey and me, like Anthony Michael Hall in 16 Candles, like where it's just an eye, and meanwhile we're like
And a glass.
shoving like baguettes and like brie in our faces and grapes and like yeah chocolate.
Okay, so Claire sees Master Raymond talking to the comp. Dun, dun, dun.
And my girl tries to get away and gets totally caught. She pulls one of these. And then they're like, oh, Claire.
We need to see the comp more and soon. Because that is just going to rock my world.
Put the comp on, like, picture-in-picture through the whole show.
I know, right? Can we just see him, like, in his dressing room? In a little, like, director's chair. Sam. All right. So then he walks out of the scene and out of the episode and out of our lives for this week. So then,
can I interrupt you for a minute? Because I've been waiting to say this, and I'm just going to say it because it really rings true now. She's in that gold. What color?
I like her outfit.
It was beautiful. And we all talk about how beautiful her clothes are. But I'm getting to this weird point where I'm like, why is everyone in France like gray or navy? And Claire is like the color of the sun or a berry. She's like this bright thing and everyone else is drab. What?
You know my blog I like, Tom and Lorenzo?
What?
They have a post. They do a weekly Outlander fashion post. You must read this week. It explains all of that.
Okay, let me finish my point. Again, I can understand that you're supposed to be Claire. She's supposed to stand out among all of this. I understand that wholeheartedly. But this is where I feel like I'm waiting to say things I need to say, but then you're like sliding them in anyway, and I'm like, well, I just feel like, look, people, do you want us to suspend disbelief or not? Because on the one hand, we're going to make it so that Claire is this bright, amazing thing amidst all of these other people who aren't quite anywhere near. I don't want to say they're all drab, but very, right?
Well, you're not thinking of the hospital scene, right?
So, no, because she finally toned it down in the hospital. It was just like that show, the Civil War show.
Oh, Mercy Street.
It was like Mercy Street. When the girl comes in all done up, and then on day 2, she's like in Navy. But what bothers me is that it can be totally like not true to life. You know, you didn't have one person walking around in these spectacularly bright outfits where everybody else wasn't. But yet other situations have to be exactly how they are like now, and we'll get to them. I'm having a hard time with the fact that I don't want to say hypocritical, but some things have to be true to life and true to this century, and other things are just completely like, oh, that's okay, we'll just make Claire dress brighter than everyone else. It bothers me. I find it, somebody on the comments last week said they found it distracting, and I get that.
That's a fair point.
It takes your mind out of the scene, because all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that dress is beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at her going up the stairs and it's flowing and it's bright this or bright that, and everybody else. And then next thing you know, you're like, whoa, she's talking to Master Raymond. I'm not even paying attention. You know what I mean?
I guess, but I don't know. I don't like Louise has pretty nice clothes. Mary Hawks has pretty nice clothes.
Walking through town, like when she's like,
she's got that bright cape, so that's maybe what makes her stand out.
She's like Madeline amongst the nuns.
Oh my God! All right, so where are we? Okay, so then so Lady Mary is buying a diaphragm for Anna, and she goes to the. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong show. I mean, Claire is buying birth control for Suzette, so she goes in. No, it's so funny because I literally wrote that down. Claire's all Lady Mary buying a diaphragm for Anna. And she goes in and she's like, yes, I need some, birth control or whatever. And Master Raymond goes, that's so funny because, like, you're the lady in the house buying it for the servant, and usually it's the other way around. And I was like, I know, Master Raymond, right? Like on Downton Abbey, when Anna was all like, okay, I'll buy you a diaphragm or whatever the hell she was buying for Lady Mary. What was she buying for Lady Mary? Was it a diaphragm? I think she had one made.
Yeah, something like
I don't think
that.
it was condoms. I think it was the diaphragm.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Ugh, the iPad is stuck.
What do you have on it?
The whole fast forward and rewind thing sucks when I'm sitting here trying to...
Oh, I can't even watch the show on my iPad. Forget it. I can't do it.
It's awful. It's awful. I get stuck and then I have to go back.
Okay,
Anyway,
so Master Raymond tells Claire, like, they're always looking for people to help out at the charity hospital, or as I call it, Nanada's house. For all you call them midwife fans.
Chummy, what did you... Chummy just showed up and then...
Do you know, because you don't really watch that show anymore, do you?
Well, no, but Shannon was telling me the other day that it's just so awesome still. I think Tom and I, like, after What's Her Name, like, we were like, but I don't know. I should watch it because I do love them.
Do you know the Chummy is not on for the entire season?
Well, it's the same way every season. They bring Chummy in for episode 1 and you get all Chummy's back. And then next thing you know, Chummy has to go off to some foreign land for a new job.
Yeah. It's not even nothing. And
you're sitting here like, okay, wasn't Chummy back? But I guess she's not. They just bring her back as a teaser for the first episode.
We didn't even get that. No, not in the entire season. Gone. And not only that, so no Chummy, but then, like, sorry, a little bit of a spoiler for people who are watching Call the Midwife.
I know. What are we talking about? Are we supposed to be talking
about? What's her name? Sister Evangeline, who's the other great character on that show. They shipped her off for 6 months. She, like, felt bad about some, mother that she, like, bullied into breastfeeding when she really couldn't, and was all like, Sister Julianne, I suck. You have to send me away.
Which one was she?
Like,
Which one was she? Which one was she?
She said, well, that talks like this all the time. She's a big old lady, and she's, like, impatient with everyone.
Sister, geometry. Who taught me geometry?
Sister Mary of the Toon Breath.
Sister Cornty.
Sister Cornty.
What was her name?
I don't even remember.
Sister Rapio.
Yeah, because I'm sure she listens to this podcast.
She's long gone.
God, Lord mercy on her.
She was actually quite nice when you got to know her.
She was very nice.
Yes.
All right,
she's so Sister Rapio.
At least 3 people watch Call the Midwife. They have no idea what we're talking about with high school, so. Okay, so Claire goes to Nanada's house. And that was a lot of fun to see that hospital, to see Bouton, the little dog.
Was Bouton so little? I thought he was bigger.
No, I thought he was little because she carried him around and stuff. I
was very upset that I didn't get one of my favorite lines in the entire book. And you guys are all probably laughing at me because you're like, what? I don't even remember that. I love when Jamie comes and he's sitting there and up walks the dog and he goes, hello, wee dog. Remember that? It's just Jamie and the dog, and he just goes,
dog.
Oh, hello, wee dog. I didn't get it, and I get it. I understand why I didn't get it, but it's just, I was complaining to Tom. I was like, I can't believe it. Like, I can believe it wasn't a big deal because it was probably only a big deal to me, but I just was so bummed. I wanted to see it.
So did you like Mother Hildegard?
Oh, loved.
Kind of expected her to break into Climb Every Mountain every other second, but... Climb every mountain. No, I did. I liked her a lot.
I was expecting her to teach me geometry.
So she puts Claire to work. She's like, all right, you can work here. Emptying the chamber pots. And so Claire is emptying the chamber pots. And then,
Claire,
of course...
get in there and change the sheets and change your attitude.
Yeah, Claire. Now you can see what it feels like to be a servant.
And I do have notes in here that have to do with that, and one of them is taste in urine seems to be above Claire's pay grade. I was like,
ew, I know. I'm not going to taste any. Would you? All right. Would you taste? Whose pee would you taste ever? Would you taste your children's pee?
I was just going to say no one's, but probably of anyone in the world, theirs, and that's it. And I'm talking microscopic, and I'd probably
well,
vomit.
no. I mean, she was very like this, like.
Ooh, chicken!
But it made me wonder if it tasted sweet because, like, they call it sugar disease or sugar sickness or whatever.
Yeah, I knew right away when she did that.
Oh, the minute I saw urine in a jar, I was like, diabetes, boom.
Yeah, very sad.
In and out of his house.
Did you have Wilford Brimley in your head going, diabetes? I am not making fun of diabetes. Anybody watching this, don't even go there with me
no,
because
we're not making fun of diabetes.
We've had a lot of.
We're making fun of Claire being like.
I've got a brother-in-law who's had 2 kidney transplants, so don't even think about it.
What?
No, I'm just waiting for the
Me.
comments. I'm joking around about Wilford Brimley, and I'm like waiting for the comments. Carol, blah 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 blah.
Well, it was a funny commercial. I joke around about it, but I don't know.
Well, it was the way he yelled at the camera and screamed diabetes.
Okay, so Claire works all day, then we see Jamie, and Jamie gets home. And here's I wrote this down.
What did you think about that when he's like working and then like standing at the window? I'm making this up. I don't remember what he was doing. But then it was like, he's sitting there and then he's back to writing a letter. Like I kind of expected him to be sitting there with like his feet up the wall. Like,
here's the thing. He comes in the house, and I guess this is a little bit like book-ish versus TV-ish, but I don't know. I thought they've set it up like this in the TV show. He comes in the house just like normal. He's like, Claire? And I wrote down, I miss Sassenach.
Yeah.
In this book, and it says this.
When did he ever call her
He never calls her Claire.
If he was calling her Claire, it was a huge deal.
Yes. She says that outright. She says, he only calls me Claire at our most, like, his most vulnerable, or his most serious, important moment.
Yes.
So when it's like, it's like if your name is like Patty and your mother goes like, Patricia, like you're in for a conversation when you hear Claire instead of Sassenach.
Right.
And that's just like, we talked about this on Monday with the That's Normal Girls too, like, but just the idea of like kind of the playfulness and the interaction between the two of them. The fact that he said Claire instead of Sassenach for me was like very like that's it in a nutshell. That's making me sad.
Have you read the comments on the blog?
Yeah.
Did you see that long one? There's a lot of anonymous comments this week. But I'm sorry, I thought it was right on, spot on.
Yep. So Jamie's like killing time, whatever. Finally Claire gets home, and this is where I only have seen it once, so my notes aren't as good. But they get into a pretty big fight. And he's all...
I don't know. I wouldn't call that a pretty big fight. I would just say, like, he's laying it on the line. And I'm sorry, but he's right. He's right. Because in the show, she has laid this out. We have to do this. And she's in his face in the bed. We have to do this. So Jamie is going and going and going and going and going. Going to talk to this one, going to talk to this one, having a drink, having to do this, having to do that, blah, blah, blah. And if you notice, I don't know if they're skimming over the brothel type of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like,
well, they did. They sort of like hinted.
No, I don't mean being at a brothel. I don't mean Fergus. I mean they're skimming over certain paraphernalia that he might have come home with. Like, I don't know. I just...
Oh,
and these women, you knew that he was going there and he was coming home with lipstick on his collar and stinking of perfume and all this stuff.
No, that's when he goes to kiss her and she's like, ew, get away because you stink. Like, that was supposed to be all that stuff rolled into
She
one.
doesn't seem to care. Your husband is hanging out in brothels every night. The book was realistic. In this, it's like, she's like, okay, Jamie, just go. I'm like, skeeved. I'm like, this is Jamie and Claire. Does it ever stop the wanting? Where the frick did the wanting go? I swear to God. I'm like, what?
I mean, maybe that's why she's pissed off, you know? I mean, she's reading as pissed off because she's bored. And the servants are driving her nuts. And, whatever. But maybe that's where that's supposed to be coming from. The fact that she's annoyed because he's never home.
Well, I agree, but at the same...
Go ahead.
I agree also, I have to say, with him, that he's had all this laid on him, and he didn't complain. He does it all. He's not getting any sleep. He's doing all the stuff that she wanted to do. Not that he doesn't want to do it, but... And she's bitching that her life isn't being enriched. I mean, come on! But... when I read the books, it's so funny. I have to go back and read my blog reviews because I'm like, ooh, did I care then? It was different. Like it was her point of view and you could feel how bored she was every day. And also you're talking about, you have to remember this is a 20th century woman who has a lot going on usually. Now she's in the 18th century just sitting around with frickin' Louise playing cards. But I almost feel like they haven't done a great job of showing you just how mundane and monotonous her life has become because you're sort of sitting there watching her play cards with Louise in the beautiful dresses and thinking, that doesn't look so bad.
You know what? I kind of disagree. I mean, I kind of think that, and an image just crossed my mind now, coincidentally also in Paris. You never watched Sex and the City, did you?
Yes, I did.
It kind of reminds me of when Carrie went to Paris to be with Mikhail Brezhnev. And he was, like, doing some, like, laser light show. And so he's like, oh, Carrie, we will be together soon, I promise.
Did he say,
cheers,
we're landing in Russia?
But she was like, oh, it's Paris, it's fabulous. And she would, like, wander around. She didn't know anybody. And you could just tell she was, like, homesick. I mean, Claire isn't homesick or anything like that, but I don't know. I think the boredom is coming out. I mean, I'm getting that sense.
I'm not seeing enough her sitting around. I don't care. She's a bitch right now, so I don't even care.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad for her. Okay, all I have to say is, I don't feel bad. They're not making me feel bad for her, and I know, I know Claire. I've read all these books, so I get it. But if people haven't, I called Teresa the other day and I said, "Have you watched yet?" And she said no. And I said, "Well, watch it and call me because This is my friend Teresa, guys, who has not read the book. She read half of Outlander." And then found out it was going to become a show on Starz and stopped because she's much more visual. She would much prefer to watch the series. So I called her. I said, you watch that and you call me because I want to know what a non-reader thinks right now. Maybe she loves it. Who knows? Maybe she thinks it's totally, fine, gets it. I don't know. But I'm just sitting here watching this like Claire's coming off as awful and... Jamie's working his ass off, and Claire's bitching about her enriched life or her not enriched life. All I want to do is grab Tony Soprano's mother and shove her in her face and go, boy, you. My God, have you forgotten why you're there in the first place? Have you forgotten what could possibly happen? Look, I get it. I hate being bored. But get your ass out and go find some pastries or something.
Well, okay. Two things. I think one reason maybe she's turning out to look so bitchy is because of this servant stuff. Like, that's all she does is complain about the servants. Well, that's just coming off as bitchy. In the Sex and the City example, it was very clear that Carrie was just, like, lost. Very clear. And Carrie wasn't bitching at anybody, they just made it really clear from her kind of wandering around and like looking a little aimless or whatever. But then I will say this: I saw Claire's side in that Jamie was all like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and whatever. But like, what? So what's the answer for Claire? What can Claire do? What's her expectation? His expectation is to like have her sit with Louise and and see if she can like uncover some secret. Well, she's tried that. Long story short, saying, and maybe it's just me, 21st century mentality. Like, I didn't have a problem with her working at the hospital. I had a problem with her not sending. She should have sent Murtaugh back to like let Jamie know where she was, and then come back and get her or whatever. Like, paid.
Murtaugh never would have left her there.
No, well then pay one of the
and is the audience, the non-reading audience, understanding what a bad area it is? And that's why Murtaugh's like, Jamie wouldn't like this, Jamie wouldn't like this. It's a horrific area that he doesn't want to leave her alone in. He's not going to leave her there and go tell Jamie.
Well, but
Claire, I'm trying not to point at you. What Claire should have done is waited until she saw Jamie and had a conversation with Jamie about it before she trotted off to the hospital. I'm not saying wait for his. I'm not saying wait for his permission. Mm-hmm. I'm saying give him the respect. Give him respect, show him respect, and tell him. It's like what they say about marriage. Communication and respect. Go and tell him this is what I want to do. I totally appreciate everything you're doing, but I'm not used to this. I'm sitting around. I'm going stir crazy. I have to go and do this. I'm going to go do it. And maybe they could have negotiated. Right. He'd be like 1 day a week. She's like 5 days a week. So they come, okay, we'll do 3 days a week, whatever. And she could have been like, look, the minute you're done, we'll sit back down. We'll talk about it again. I don't know. I'm a big one for communication. I don't try and slide things in, and just tell him. She basically is like, well, I'm doing it. And I shouldn't say that because she looked hurt. She did look hurt when he was, going off on his little rant about her and her poor you and your, needing to enrich your life. But so I will say that she was seeming like she felt bad and she was like, where's Jamie? Where's this coming from? Type of thing. But I just felt like she could have talked to him. But again, we're just getting to this point where the show is the show and the books are the books. So anything I'm saying right now is my feelings on the show. Right. Not at all about the books.
Right. I don't even remember how it went down in the books. Like if she asked him first or...
It was, let me tell you how it went down. It was her point of view and you felt how...
Right.
Alienated, alone. One can take only so much Louise. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you were impressed with Claire that she wasn't throwing this at anyone.
Right.
She didn't care about Louise and her stupid card games and her stupid, Louise was talking a lot more about men and she didn't care. So Diana showed you how like superficial that all was. Mm. So you felt like poor Claire just wants to go and help her fellow man and like do something with her time that's a little more constructive than sitting around playing cards with Louise and getting waxed. So you could totally understand that. And I was with her. With the show, I'm not sure. And again, it's probably time constraints. They just don't have the time. But it's hard for me to sit here and say, I'm trying to see it as a non-book reader. And I'm going, poor you. I really don't feel bad for you. Your husband is off. After everything he's been through, he's off trying to save the freaking world, so to speak, and you're, worried about sewing up wounds.
I guess maybe I can see your point a little more, but no, I see both their points, but really the point is that like, it just makes me sad that we're getting these fights, and one thing I forgot about with the whole like Murtaugh, like them being devoid of a comic relief device So Murtaugh has to become it all of a sudden.
Right.
The comic relief device, I hate saying the books, but like, why not make Claire and Jamie the comic relief device? Because the two of them are funny, and their relationship has a lot of humor in it. And except for the fact that it doesn't in the TV show, because it's not there. Like,
it's the dialogue.
That, like, where is the humor between the two of them?
Missing dialogue in these scripts.
You know? Even the honeypot, which is really, at its heart, the honeypot is a funny scene.
Everybody's mad.
And it's not supposed to be, like sexy. It's not supposed to be like, ooh, your honeypot's turning me on, Sassenach. You know, until, like, oh my god, here comes my PSTD. Now I'm gonna, like, honeypots, blackjack, you know, you, all one,
Yeah,
No, in the book, the honeypot is like, are you shitting me, Sassenach? Like, what?
He
what?
went,
People do this? Shut up. Like,
she shaved her.
Yeah, it's funny. And, like, that, like, oh, it's making me sad. Like,
well, let me tell you something, you and everyone else, because there are a lot of complaints. I went through them all today, and I was like, everybody is upset that they changed. I don't know why they changed it. Once again, I always take it back to they think that it has to be different because they think that you're not going to, we don't have the background. We don't have the luxury of all of that information, and they have to do a quick bam. And maybe they figure people aren't going to understand that. They're not showing us that Jamie and Claire. They're not showing us that Jamie at all. Earnest, adorable Jamie. They're not giving us. So, yeah. And I guess they figure, well, maybe it didn't make sense to them that it was something that was just talked about instead of, to me, in real life, that's how real life is. Everything doesn't have to, just because they're talking about a honeypot doesn't mean it has to revolve around sex.
You know, I guess if they're in and out of France in 5 episodes, they have to.
Is that the deal? Are you sure about that?
Based on the titles of these episodes, and you know what? The titles of these episodes are public domain. Or public record, so I'm going to name them. Through Glass Darkly was the first one. Not in Scotland Anymore this is the second. Useful Occupations and Deceptions is this one. The next one is Best Laid Schemes, and the next one is Faith. So, without saying anything about any of that, Carol and I know more or less where we are by the end of an episode that would be called Faith. And I would say we're probably pretty much out of France at that point.
Aren't there 8 episodes after that?
Yes.
Well, what the heck? I
don't know. Whatever. Okay. Because I just also realized that in all this discussion, we forgot that a critical, awesome character was introduced. Before Jamie got home.
We didn't forget. We haven't gotten there yet.
No. Before Jamie got home, he was at the brothel with Prince Charlie and Monsieur Dulabé, or whatever the hell his name, finance guy. And Charlie's all like, I've secured almost all the money. And Jamie's like, what? Excuse me? What's she talking about, Charlie?
Did you know that?
All the money. Jamie's like, when you say all the money, do you mean all the money?
But meanwhile, in the midst of all that, hello, Fergus!
God, I have 2 comments. Number 1, looked exactly like I pictured him.
Yes. Okay.
Number 2, he looks like he's going to grow up to be Armand de Sante, which is fine with me.
The casting of all of these characters is just so great. I mean, like, they've been, like, home runs, every single one. So, bravo.
Yeah.
All right.
Rob to the O.
So, did we finish with the Jamie and Claire fight? I don't even know if there's that much to say about it. It's like,
yeah, I'm done. So I don't.
No, you're not working there. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Bye-bye.
We didn't really talk that much though about the hospital. I don't know what I said there, but I can't repeat it, so it must have seried wrong. But, like, I was like, oh, man, must we see the gore?
Oh, well, you're skipping ahead.
Well, that's where we were. We were at the hospital.
No, oh, well, no. Are you talking about the real gore later on?
Was it, like, how much later on was it?
It was pretty later on. It's
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, okay. So, then Fergus... so I think then Jamie goes... Oh, yeah. Jamie goes back to the brothel to, like, drink alone. Because he drinks alone.
I drink alone.
He catches Fergus in the act. He runs after Fergus around through the streets everywhere, catches him, and is like, yeah, Fergus, you work for me now. Which ain't easy. What was I, wait, who says they work for me? Oh, it's Charlie. Now they work for me. My name is Jamie. Now, Fraser, you work. Now, Fergus, you work for me. My name is Jamie.
Oh my God! It froze again.
What, your iPad? I can't believe you're watching this at the same time.
I give up.
Fergus was just so cute, though. He was great. So he brings him. So Jamie brings him back to Chateau Petit, whatever it's called. And Claire meets up with him. I do love, like, I thought every time Fergus would bow to Claire, it was hilarious. It's so cute.
But I just, all right, never mind.
What?
Spoilery stuff, so I'm just going to shut up.
Okay.
That looks like the hugest wine glass ever.
You get these for, like, 8 for $20 at Costco. I love these because, look, I can just go like this, break it, and it'd be like, oh, well, just buy a new one. Yeah,
and we will. We will accidentally, yes. I've broken neighbors' glasses and had to order them, yes.
So, what else? All right, this is where my notes get, I have like 3 notes left. I think the next scene is at back at the hospital.
All right, I'm sorry, do we need to see all the pus? Really?
I didn't even look. I love Bouton sniffing out everything. That was really fun.
Oh, I love that dog.
That dog was
I actually have loved Bouton even more than I did in the book, and that was a lot.
I know.
Love that dog.
I love when Mother Hildegard's like, okay, go ahead, Bouton, go.
I love how she's like she's like the dog whisperer.
I know.
She's like, Bouton, head on up to the mouth and sniff around up there. Oh, nothing?
Kisses, Bouton, kisses.
Yeah. All right, now head yourself down south. Oh, now Bouton, now go around in a circle. Like, the dog I was cracking up at that. But I loved that they brought that in. That's so Diana, the way they brought in the whole animals know and they can smell, or that was fantastic.
I could not look at the surgery. It was disgusting and gross, and I don't look at it. No. So, I know what it was. I know. We missed the scene where Jamie and
Mother Hildegard.
No. Well, they figure out that the music is some sort of like, wait. It's
the Bach stuff. How'd you like, Bach is so, like, boring.
I was thinking, like, was she friends with Bach? Like, was she friends with Bach in the book?
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember that.
I remember. It just reminded me of taking piano lessons, and we would have to do, like, these Bach, like...
Run. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, like, there's these Bach interludes or something that you have to do. I just don't know.
And also...
Talk about PTSD. I'm like...
And also, being a 21st century parent, it reminds me of Baby Bach. Did you ever hear of Baby Einstein?
No, because I'm not a 21st century parent.
Yeah, but you've heard of Baby Einstein, I'm sure. Well, you would sit there and pop in, like, this video, and it would be Baby Bach, Baby Mozart, Baby Beethoven, whatever.
Did you notice that, and I want to know what this is, Jamie, I get it. Jamie was wearing a kilt when he went to the hospital. Yes. Did you get that?
I noticed that.
Do you think it was because he didn't want to look like a dandy, like going, hanging with the poor folk?
What?
Like, you just said that Claire was all in her finery and stuff and stood out. Maybe he didn't want to stand out, so he was dressed down.
The eyes going.
Oh, really? Here, put it up to the camera. No, close up.
No. Okay. Okay.
Why was he wearing a kilt?
I don't know, but because I found it distracting because I was like not paying attention because I'm like, oh, he's got a kilt on. But then I thought, what was he wearing like in the last scene? Because Fergus was all, I'm sorry, something about it being English. What?
Nothing. You don't even want to know how long we're going.
How long? I know because I can see what time it is.
We're almost done now. But this is going to be an hour and a half.
And I was like, wait a minute, was he in a kilt because Fergus didn't even know he was Scottish. Remember, he was like English, Scottish.
Oh, that's right.
So that was kind of weird.
I think it was because it was like a poorer part of town. That's the only thing I can think of is that he was kind of like fitting in with the people.
All right.
Being one of the people.
All right.
All right. So they crack the code. They go home. They celebrate. And then Murtaugh's like to Claire, you gotta tell. So she's like, okay. And he's like, oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, you forgot Charlie, the Bonnie Prince.
What did I forget?
He popped in at one point, didn't he?
Nah. I mean, maybe, but he's utterly forgettable in my mind.
I want to punch Prince Charlie in the nose.
I want to be at Madame Emile's or whatever her name is and like throw a drink in his face. Like, wouldn't that be awesome? Like, oh no, you don't.
Oh, that was when he said that he had all the financing.
That was way back, though. That was like...
I know, but I'm just saying, I don't remember mentioning him, and I'm just making sure we mentioned everything in my notes, and I just have to mention Bonnie Prince Charlie again, because I hate him.
Oh, okay.
And he's so gross.
I, too, hate him. But the actor's very good. I mean, the actor is just so skeevy.
Well, that just shows you how fantastic he is, because I hate him.
I know. I hate him, too. So, yeah, I mean, so Claire chickens out. She can't tell Jamie about Blackjack. And they sort of make up, have a little kissy-kissy. Merck's like, oh, wait, let me find Suzette and we'll make it a foursome. And that's it. And then
don't you love how Jamie has to go and is like, we have to have a toast.
How Jamie is not falling down drunk all the time, I will never know. Because he's like
honestly,
tossing him back.
That bums me out because I'm like, can't we have a little intimacy? Look, they don't have to be romping, but can't we just have some nice scenes with maybe the two of them with the?
I agree.
The bottle and the glasses and the.
I agree.
Do we have to? It's just I'm like, who are these people?
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is that they have a lot of plot to get through in the next, in 5 episodes. And they don't have time.
Andrew Gower, if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to tell you while I'm seeing it. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Gower. Andrew Gower. A graduate of the Oxford School of Drama.
Oh, is playing Prince Charles?
Yes.
He's great. He's really great.
He is ridiculously fantastic. Thank you. I had to mention his name because we keep talking about how good he is. Well, I have to mention his name.
I mean, maybe the only thing I can think of is, like, again, they have so little time in France relative to the rest of the show. They have a lot of plot to get in. And, in the book, you have much more time to, like, have conflict resolution. Fight, make up. Whereas in 5 episodes, you have to get... Are they in France? They're certainly in France for, if not half the book, like a good third of the
I don't think they're going to do some things that we are expecting them to do.
Have sex?
I don't want to say spoiler, but I'm just like, if there are only 2 episodes left, there's no way.
In France.
What?
In France.
Yeah, if there's only 2 episodes left in France, there's no way they're going to be able to do this. There's no way. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm just, I would think that they're building up this conflict for some big, maybe like around episode 5, some big 5, 6, something, whatever, some big, massive, I cannot be gentle about it.
Yeah,
episode 9 or 10, whatever it was.
But I'm thinking more of Claire, and Claire sort of gets herself into these little situations. Oopsie. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't see how, things are going to unfold in the next 2 episodes.
I don't know. I just want their relationship I want it to be more about their relationship. And again, I know it can't be because of so much plot that has to be resolved. But I miss Jamie and Claire. I miss Sassenach. I miss Sassenach.
Everybody does. Let me tell you something. This is going to be a problem if this continues. And I'll tell you something. You've mentioned That's Normal a lot of times tonight. Well, the one thing I'm noticing about That's Normal is they speak their mind and they don't candy coat. And I don't candy coat, but I'm careful not to say this or not to say that. Well, guess what? I'm turning over a new leaf because I'm tired of it. People are not happy. Fans are not happy. And y'all better be paying attention, Starz et al. Because I'm telling you right now, if this continues on the road it's on, we're going to have a problem.
I'm going to approach this the way I do as the manager at work. Okay? Let's go. Ready?
You're not the boss of me.
Okay. I'm having a meeting with the Starz people and with everybody in charge. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for coming. So first, I want to say I think the show is doing so well. I think we're working really hard. I think we can be proud of a lot of things that we've done. But I think there's some things we can do a little better.
Cue the sappy music.
You have to start, every piece of criticism has to start with praise. Even if it's just like, thanks for working so hard on this.
Okay.
I really appreciate your hard work.
One aspect.
Which is bullshit if you ever told it, so.
You're forgetting one aspect.
What?
It's all about mo money, mo money, mo money. And I'm telling you right now, I have seen people saying, I might not watch this anymore. It's all about viewership. That's why I want to know about the non-book reading fans.
Yes, I'm very curious. So if you're not a book reader, let us know what you think.
Because what I'm seeing happening is, this is after 3 episodes. And some of these book readers are like, you know what? I don't have to watch this. I'll tell you right now, I was watching last night, and I don't remember what scene it was, but I had this sort of epiphany where I was like, I could stop right now. Because I feel like I'm losing the book. Like I'm losing... I don't want to go in this direction. I don't want to do this.
I don't mind differences. I really don't.
Let me tell you something though. But that's not saying I mind differences. I love, like Murtaugh. You didn't like the Murtaugh situation. I kind of liked it.
Creepy Murtaugh.
What?
The creepy Murtaugh? No.
What I like is seeing. If I see it as something that just was behind the scenes that we never really got in the books, I'm fine with that. It's more of out and out. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. It's more of out and out character changes, personality changes, or that type of thing that I'm going, whoa. So at one point last night, I literally had, at that point in New Moon when I was hallucinating Edward, and I was like, I could stop right now. Like an addict, I was like, I could stop. I don't have to keep reading these books. I'm hallucinating Edward in the middle of yoga class, and they're saying exhale, and I'm hearing Edward, and I'm going, I don't have to keep going. I can just stop anytime I want. Well, that's sort of the feeling I got last night. I'm like, you know what? I can just cling to my Jamie and Claire. I don't have to. Now, obviously, I'm going to keep watching. It's beautiful. It's well acted. It's well written, it's well acted, it's beautiful, it's all that, but I need me some Jamie and Claire.
I will say this, I've complained about Claire, like we're complaining about Claire and to shut up, and she's on my last nerve. Katrina, though, there were a couple times last night where I was just like, she's so Claire.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Claire. God,
yeah.
She's so Claire.
And this is so empty.
I know. No, I haven't had... No, I'm not even going to pour anymore because we got to wrap this up and I got to go to bed. I think that... all right.
You have to go to bed? Because I think I have to go to bed too.
I have to go... Well, no, I have to watch more Gilmore Girls. You guys, I have I have 16 episodes. No, I'm sorry. Like 10, like 10, 12. Say 12 episodes of Gilmore Girls to go. I have to just power through it and watch the rest because the internet is a minefield of Gilmore Girls spoilers right now because of this reboot. So
Okay,
I gotta get it done.
Personally, I'm watching something that is so incredibly up to date that season 3 premieres on Monday, and that's called Turn Washington Spies. And the stuff I'm seeing on the internet is just so exciting.
I was going to say something about Outlander, the show we're talking about, and now
I'm sorry, because I thought it was Gilmore Girls. Really? Talking about Outlander? Because I thought it was...
All right, here's my question. This episode tonight, better or worse than last week?
Different.
No better, no worse?
No, because I'm not, like, hating them.
No,
you know,
then that's... And we should say, Outlander at its worst is better than 75% of what's on TV right now.
And I am coming from the fact that I get an email every time we get a comment. Every time it's a comment on outlanderpurgatory.com, I get an email and I will sit there and it's too hard to, life gets in the way. So I will sit. Today there might have been 65 or something, crazy amounts of comments. I sat there and I read everyone and answered, read, answer. And I, after a while, was like, wow, some of these people are not happy. And that's sort of where I'm coming from. And forgive me, guys, there's something in my eye.
All right. We should call it a day.
I'm calling it a day, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to candy coat. Because there is a situation going on here, and that is the fact that where the frick, it's like Matt Lauer or Jamie and Claire, because no one knows where they are. Where in the world are Jamie and Claire? We know
Jamie
where Claire
and Claire
is.
have turned into the Ropers.
We know where Jamie is.
It's just not good.
We know where Jamie is. We know where Claire is, but no one knows where Jamie and Claire are.
Ooh. All right, that is going to wrap it up for us because I think I'm falling asleep, you're falling asleep, we're all falling asleep. Woo! So let us know what you think in the comments on YouTube, on the blog, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram if we ever put anything up there. We're pondering Snapchat, but I don't really get Snapchat.
Oh, God. We can't keep up with all this stuff anyway. Just want to remind you guys, there are 2 of us.
I know. 2. And
So if you're like, why don't those mock girls do any of this? It's because there's 2.
Because we don't really understand Snapchat.
And P.S., if any of you guys go to chat that we do on Monday nights, during the season, it gets a little hairy for Tracey and me. Because we have a lot of Outlander going on during the week. So continuing to do moderate Monday chats are kind of hard. So once the season's over, it's it's easier for us to sort of dive back into all of that. So if any of you have any interest in sort of moderating a little here or there, like people who are kind of regulars on chat or whatever, let us know. Send me an email, carol@myoutlanderpurgatory.com.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us. We love you. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You're all awesome. You're doing such a good job. You're working so hard at being mock fans. But for real, I don't even have anything bad to say. Okay. And we'll see you next week. Bye.